Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend her boyfriend is not allowed at my wedding? Anyway, I'm supposed to be getting married early October 2022. It's not gonna be a big wedding or anything, but me and my fiance both have friends that we don't want to leave out. I have this friend, Amanda. We have known each other since high school and we aren't incredibly close by any means, but we are still somewhat good friends and hang out regularly, and I would like her to be there. The problem is, I just recently found out who she is dating now, and she wants to bring him as her +1. My sister Lily and her ex Steve broke up about 10 months ago because she found out he was cheating. She was heartbroken, and I know along with that pain she still has a lot of resentment for him, and doesn't even like hearing his name. He was an awful boyfriend, so my family has no problem with him no longer being in our lives. Then 8 months ago, Amanda told me she had started talking to someone and she really liked him and everything. She wouldn't tell me who, not even his name, because she said she didn't want to share anything about him till it got more serious. I didn't really understand his secrecy, but it didn't force her to tell me anything, and just let her know I was happy for her and hope it all worked out. Well, last week she told me she was dating Steve. They had gotten more serious, and she wanted to make their relationship public to the people they care about. She also said she knew how much I disliked him and what he had done to my sister, and hoped I would try to understand their love and be happy for her and try to see him in a different light. I was a little shocked at first, since I really didn't expect her to be with a guy like him, and she knew what kind of person and boyfriend he was. But it isn't my place, and I told her that I'm happy she's happy, and that was that. Well, 2 days later, we are texting about the wedding and everything, and she mentioned Steve being her +1. I do not want him there. Not only because I know my sister, who's my maid of honor, doesn't want him there, but also because I don't like him and neither does my fiancé. I immediately told her that Steve was not invited to the wedding. She was confused, and I explained to her that I was sorry and I'm happy for her, but I didn't want him there. At first, she thought it was just because my sister would be, and kept saying that they wouldn't even be near each other and it would be fine. But then I explained that with everything that happened, we didn't want him there. I said sorry again, but she kept saying how I don't want her to be happy, how I just want to live in the past, how I want to punish her for finding love, stuff like that. None of that is true, and I tried to tell her that, but she stopped responding. So now I'm left feeling like a complete a-hole, and I don't know if I should just let Steve come or not. Now let's read the comments before the updates. Not an a-hole. She wants to bring the guy that cheated on your sister, a person that you are very close to and is in a wedding party, to your wedding? I think you're in the clear here. I can almost guarantee she didn't start talking to him 8 months ago either. 10,000% this. Hence the BS secrecy. I assume Steve was cheating with her when he was with your sister. But how the heck would they not be near each other in the same venue? Your wedding is not a platform for their crappy coming out. And invite her and don't think twice about it. Enjoy your beautiful drama-free wedding, guilt-free. If it ends your pseudo-friendship, so be it. She sounds a bit unhinged anyway. Your wedding is not a platform for their crappy coming out. This is the thing. Amanda and Steve are hoping to use the wedding as their way to reintegrate into the OP social circle and make OP's sister the bad guy for any lingering resentment. So tacky. Just uninvite Amanda kindly and directly. I am happy if you're happy. But you did choose a partner who has a bad history with my sister, who is very important to me. It's simply not possible for Steve to ever attend a wedding. I don't want him there. It's not up for debate. I think it's best if you don't come either. You're not the a-hole. P.S. You know Steve had Amanda on the line while he was with your sister, right? Even if she's not the other woman, she's the one he monkey branched to right after your sister dumped him. So he was, at least, laying the groundwork with chats, etc. Now for the first update. First of all, I want to thank everyone so much for commenting and giving judgment. I know I haven't replied to everyone, but I tried to give any extra info that was asked for or relevant, though I am sorry if I didn't reply to you. Now, as I have mentioned in the comments, I had a lapse in my judgment and that's what led to this post. I thought maybe I was seeing things simply for my distaste for Steve, and it was coming off as I wasn't supportive of Amanda, and that's what made me think I was wrong for not allowing him to come. But I see now. I am completely in the right to not have or want him there, so he will not be invited and that won't be changing. With Amanda, I have pretty much decided that she is no longer invited to my wedding and I'm pretty sure I'm ending the friendship. But I wanted to sit down with her and have a conversation first. Not to salvage anything, but I have some things to say to her and questions to ask. With the cheating, I mentioned in the comments that we only know of 3 girls Steve cheated with. We all believe there are more, especially since one of the affairs goes all the way back to a year. They were together for 2, but we don't know for sure and have no solid evidence at the moment, and Lily doesn't care to find any. Amanda could very well be one of the unknown affair partners. It's very likely, and the timing and secrecy make more sense to believe she was. Even though I intend to end this friendship, and I'm finding it hard to believe that Steve wasn't cheating with her. It would still suck if she had been. Another thing I mentioned in the comments was that Amanda had offered support to my sister when everything happened. She even said more than once that Steve was an a-hole for hurting Lily, and for that to most likely had been an act would suck. I would also like to clear up something about Amanda and her wanting to make their relationship public. Right after she told me they were dating, she started posting them off social media and telling people, so my wedding wouldn't really be their coming out event. Though it would definitely be a way for them to show off their relationship and gloats and everything. Still not okay, but just wanted to clear it up and not mislead anyone. Last thing, I was finally able to get a response out of Amanda. I told her I would like to talk to her about everything and get everything out in the open, and she has agreed to meet me and talk. So I shall update when that happens. For the second update, I wasn't sure if it would be better to post an update here or to make a separate post, so I hope posting here is okay. Also, sorry for the wait. I was finally able to sit down with Amanda and talk today. Anyways, on to what happened. I didn't really want Amanda coming to my house, so we met at the small cafe place near where we live. I figured it wouldn't be too crowded and we would be able to have a discussion easily there, so it was the best option. She was there first, and as soon as I sat down, she looked extremely smug. It seems that she thought I had wanted to talk to apologize or something, and thought I would be telling her Steve was invited to the wedding. Imagine her surprise when I almost immediately tell her that Steve is in no way allowed to attend, and I have officially decided to rescind her invite as well. She was instantly angry, asking why I would do that when I was obviously in the wrong. Why would I uninvite her simply because she wanted her partner there, etc.? BS like that, lol. I let her rant for a minute before I calmly told her what I wanted to say. I told her that my family and literally everyone important to me that would be at the wedding did not like Steve. No one but her wanted him there, and multiple people would be uncomfortable if he was. I also told her it was my wedding and me and my fiancé are the only 2 people who gets to decide who comes and who doesn't. I was clear that she was allowed to want her boyfriend there, but I wasn't obligated to cater to her wants, especially when that's someone I didn't like at all. I even told her that if she had just decided not to come at first since he couldn't, I would have understood. But she tried to guilt me into inviting someone who wasn't wanted, so that's why she was no longer wanted. I told her how her actions made me feel and how I now perceived her. It made it clear I wanted to end our friendship and stop our contact. She was furious through every word. Before I ended the conversation, I told her that I had a question and I wanted a complete truth. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I would get it though. And I asked her point blank, was she with Steve before he and Lily split? She got nervous, wouldn't even make eye contact, and stayed silent for a few seconds. I figured that told me what I wanted to know, but I honestly wanted to hear her say it. Then she did. She told me that they have been together for a year total. They started sleeping together when Steve and Lily got into an argument, and Amanda started falling for him, so thought being his mistress was better than not having him at all. At first, he would only go to her when Lily and him fought, but then he started going to her whenever Lily was busy, or his other girls were. She didn't feel sorry about it at all, and kept trying to justify her actions. She even tried to justify her ability to look my sister in the eyes, to comfort her, all that even though she was hooking up with Steve for so long. She really thinks she did the right thing just because she loves him. At one point she said that they really were in love, and she was the only one in his life now. I felt bad for her then, I admit, but that's not my problem. I got up, I walked out, and I drove straight to my sister's where I am now. Told her what I had learned, and we are having a very fun girls' night with ice cream, alcohol, and movies. Amanda and Steve are no longer my concern, and I have decided to enjoy the stress-free time while I've got it, because I know I'm gonna be stressed closer to wedding day gets. Thank you to everyone who commented. You were all right about the cheating and everything, and I'm extremely thankful for y'all opening my eyes. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to be a groomswoman? So, my 25 male, fiancé 24 female has never gotten along with my sister, 18 female. My fiancé has never liked how close I am with my sister, and it has been a cause of few arguments. I proposed to fiancé Sarah a few months ago and things have been going smoothly. In fact, I would say our relationship has never been better. A few days ago, Sarah listed off to me all of the people she wanted as bridesmaids, and not surprisingly, my sister was not one of them. She said she was planning on asking them in a few more months to be in our wedding. Sarah then asked me if I knew who I wanted as groomsmen. I listed off a couple friends that Sarah knew, Keegan, Joe, Sammy, etc., and then I said I wanted my sister to be one of my groomsmen. This made Sarah upset. She said that it wasn't traditional for a woman to be a groomsman, and that it would embarrass her. I explained to her that my sister was one of the most important people in my life, and she was going to be part of our wedding. This made Sarah even more upset, and she accused me of trying to ruin her wedding day, and she locked herself in the bathroom. It's been a few days since this, and we haven't spoken at all. Many of her family members have reached out to me and asked me not to include my sister in the wedding at all, and that Sarah should be the most important woman in my life, not my sister. My mother-in-law even called me telling me that I was making Sarah depressed, and that I was a horrible person for doing this to my future wife. My sister heard about all of this and told me that it was okay to not invite her. I stood my ground and told all of them that my sister would be included no matter what. Am I the a-hole for doing so? Edit. Sarah's dislike stems from her walking in on my sister and I cuddling. Sister had her head on my shoulder and my arm was wrapped around her, which made Sarah upset. My sister is aromantic and told me when she first came out that she would most likely never get married, and that made her sad. I told her she could be part of my wedding, even if it wasn't the same thing, and I will never forget the look of joy in my sister's face. This is why I won't back down, for those wondering. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Info: why would you want to marry someone who is not only jealous of your little sister, but also seemingly implying that your relationship with her is inappropriate? Absolutely not, the a-hole. You sound like a great big brother. I'm sorry you're going through this. We had argued about it before, but it had been forgotten about until this instance. I will probably be calling my engagement off after reading everyone's advice. I'd also like to say, I really don't like the fact your fiancé said her wedding. Is she marrying herself? Because last I checked, it was your wedding too, and I don't see why she feels it's her right to ruin your wedding day. That's exactly what I thought when I read that line. I had a friend that was engaged and wanted every detail her way regardless of what the groom thought. She tried to convince me to tell him that weddings are all about the bride and only the bride. She was not happy at all when I told her she was crazy, that it was his wedding too and that he should have equal say in their day. They never did get married, and he's deceased now, so not gonna happen. She still refers to herself as a widow though. Your future bride views your sister, who is just barely of legal age by the way, as a sexual rival. Let that sink in, because it's sick. It has sunk in, and it disgusts me. I'm planning on calling off the engagement. Edit. I'm planning on calling off the engagement with Sarah when I get home from work. My sister is more important to me than my miserable marriage. I will be home around 8, so look out for an update around then. And now for the update. Hello guys. This is gonna be a little long, so be patient with me. I got home from work and I told Sarah we need to talk. She agreed, and we sat down in the living room. I started off by asking her why she had such a problem with my sister being a groomsman, and also, as many of you suggested, if she had been assaulted or had any trauma related to that. Sarah told me that she hadn't. She went on to say that having sister as groomsman was untraditional. She said, "Men are groomsmen, women are bridesmaids." Sarah also said she was uncomfortable with how close I was with sister. I asked her to elaborate on this, and Sarah implied that we had more than a sibling relationship. She said cuddling between siblings was something she had never seen, and that it just didn't seem like something normal siblings did. I assured Sarah that nothing like that was happening, but she just didn't seem like she wanted to accept that, and it just led to more arguing. I gave Sarah an ultimatum. We could go to couples therapy, she could try to repair her relationship with my sister, and tell her family to stop guilting me, or we were going to have to call off the engagement. Sarah blew up at me and said she was going to stay with her mother. Family-in-law is now completely pissed at me and are sending me hateful messages on Facebook. Lol. So I guess that's most likely the end of Sarah and I. But to wrap things up on a good note, sister is planning on moving in with me. Her mental health was drained from this, so we decided to move in together. Thank you everyone for sticking through this with me. I appreciate all the kind messages. I ended up showing sister some of them, and she was very delighted. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for assuming I'd be a bridesmaid at a friend's wedding when I'm not even invited? I'm really good friends with the sister of my ex-boyfriend, Marina. Marina's getting married in December, and as a friend, I assumed I'd be considered as a bridesmaid or at least be invited. I was excited to talk all plans with her about the wedding. When she announced the wedding and posted the dates on Facebook and Instagram, I replied to her stories and I texted her, "Girl, finally! Should we get on the bridesmaid's dress shopping?" She then immediately video called me. She told me she's excited about the wedding, but sadly I won't be a bridesmaid. I was surprised, considering we've been really good friends. I asked her why, and she told me that she doesn't owe an explanation to me. I insisted because as a friend I think I'm at least owed an explanation about that decision, and I'll respect it. She said it's because her brother's, aka my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, is going to be a bridesmaid, so it'd be very uncomfortable for the ex to be there as well. She also told me I'm overall not invited at all because my ex is uncomfortable with my presence, and she doesn't want to make her brother and his partner uncomfortable and wants this to be a pleasant experience for them. I tried to be understanding, I really do, but I told her how ridiculous it is that she's not inviting me because of her brother's discomfort and his girlfriend's insecurities and possible jealousy. She implied I'm an a-hole for assuming I'd be a bridesmaid in the first place, since she never made her intentions clear on whether I'd even be invited, and that I don't get to judge her choices. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. I texted her, "Girl, finally. Should we get on to bridesmaid's dress shopping?" That's not normal. Who assumes they're a bridesmaid and doesn't even wait to be asked? She isn't being ridiculous, you are. Of course her brother comes ahead of you. Man, I didn't even assume I was gonna be one at my best friend's wedding. I waited for her to tell me. I certainly didn't text her about dress shopping randomly without confirmation. You're the a-hole, assuming to be a bridesmaid, hounding her for a reason when it's clear why she doesn't want you as bridesmaid, whining about her brother and his girlfriend when most people don't like seeing their exes regardless of feelings. It is pretty standard for exes to be kept out of family functions. Seriously, someone's wedding is supposed to be a pleasant experience for them, and if that means you're not invited, then that's that. You should be happy for your friend rather than adding more unnecessary stress to her plate. You're the a-hole, OP. You're the a-hole. I don't find it odd at all that she would take her brother's feelings into account before yours. You should never just assume you'll be a bridesmaid. That puts everyone in a very awkward position.